How's it going, everybody? This is George Duffield with National Integrity Title. I'm here with Tory Schroff
Hello.
with Remax Hometown in Moorestown, New Jersey. We're going to bring you a quick video, kind of a how-to for first-time home buyers and how to go through your first transaction. So one of the first things I'd like to ask, Tory, what is the first step?
Well, the first step in a real estate transaction process, of course, is to speak to a mortgage rep. What that can provide you is information on how much you can afford to own, what you're willing and comfortable to pay, and even if you can get approved for a loan in the first place. Once you come there, of course, the thing that's most important is to create a strong real estate team to get the job done for you. So, of course, that would involve someone like George on the title end, someone like me on the real estate agent end, and of course, if you want to be extra safe, you can also get a lawyer to protect you on that end as well. But that's really the first step. Before you go out searching for a house, it's best to know exactly how much money you can really afford to spend, so you don't go and look for houses that are over your budget or under your budget, and you can really get a good basis of where you're at.
Sounds good. Um, so I would say somebody coming into their first purchase, I'm sure they're going to be really nervous on things that could possibly go wrong with their first property. What is something that somebody should look out for when going through a property with you?
Well, of course, the first thing that I'll say is make sure that the house makes sense for you for the amount of time that you plan to live in it. That pretty much goes without saying,
Yeah,
as I would
you're going to
imagine.
be living
But
in it for a while.
you know, the other things that you really got to focus on, though, which a lot of people don't think about, is any kind of repairs and time frames for these repairs that you're really looking at. Um, when you go into a house, for example, your HVAC unit, you want to know how old your furnace is. You want to know how old your AC unit is. When the roof's been replaced, if there's any kind of water damage, cracks in foundation, small things like that. Because when you really add them up, it can become quite a big expense for you in the future if you don't pay attention to it and focus on it before you buy the house.
Okay, so definitely look out for big problems that could possibly arise during your
Yep.
first purchase. Um, Now, once you do settle on a price and everybody agrees on a price, what happens after the property goes under contract?
So that's really where the fun kicks in. Pretty much what happens from there, we would go ahead and order title, make sure that there's no judgments or liens on the house that might stop them from conveying a clear title or deed to you to the house, to make sure that you don't buy this house and then all of a sudden there's a debt that you didn't know about that now is your responsibility to
Exactly.
pay. Of course, the other things that we would need to do, we would have a 3-day attorney review period after the contract's signed. That's to make sure that your lawyer can go over everything, make sure that everything looks good and shipshape in the contract to your specific needs and wants. From there, we would go into a inspection contingency phase. So you would be able to have a home inspector come out to the house, take a look at it, point out any kind of concerns or issues that you might have, repairs that might be needing,
Yeah.
mitigation, different, maybe a leak in the plumbing that we didn't know about, or something like that. They're really good at finding even the smallest of little details. Um, and that becomes another negotiation just to make sure that everything that needs to be taken care of in the home is really taken care of. From there, once we get the mortgage commitment and an appraisal done, make sure that the house is truly worth what you're paying for it, because we want to make sure that you're not overpaying for the house. You should be good to close at that point, and we come to the settlement table, kind of like one that we're sitting at right now. Sign some papers, and all of a sudden you're a home buyer.